The radical left is on a mission to destroy everything: faith, family, and secured borders. Today, we've got a woke pastor who thinks calling Jesus Savior is offensive. Planned Parenthood's darkest scandal yet, and the Democrats protecting them. And New York City teachers helping illegal immigrants evade ICE instead of educating your children. Welcome back to Kharisma Daily. Now, let's jump into these most insane leftist scandals and stick around for today's Raw and Unfiltered segment to see how real Americans are reacting to this madness. First up, a so called Christian pastor who says calling Jesus Savior is just too offensive for today's modern times. You can't make this up. Reverend Brent Hawks, a so called Christian and LGBT activist, is now saying that calling Jesus Christ Savior is offensive to other religions. Apparently, we need to tailor our faith to accommodate people who don't believe in it. Go figure. As a Christian, I'm deeply offended by that.
Now, when they came out, very quickly, there was one word in those bedrock beliefs that began for me to be uncomfortable: problematic. When people now come to our church, many of them will first check the website to see what this church is about, what they believe. And many of the folks who did that would tell me out in the community, Brent, I looked up your church and it sounded reasonable, but when I got to that word Savior, it was a problem. And it was a problem because I'm from another faith tradition. Or it's a problem because I don't believe that everyone has to accept Jesus as personal Lord and Savior like the fundamentalists say. Or that everyone has to define Savior in the way that the fundamentalists define it. And it soon became that I kept having to explain that word. And I knew there were many people who would never give me the opportunity to explain that word. And in membership classes, when we would go through the vision, mission, values, and bedrock beliefs, that was almost always the point that was raised by somebody that they had a problem with. And so, twice in my 40 years here, I tried to get the word changed. And because I quickly realized that one crucifixion was enough.
This is straight up blasphemy. This guy says we need to find a different word because calling Jesus Savior is too exclusive. First, they tried to cancel Merry Christmas. Now they want to erase Jesus himself? This is crazy to me. This isn't Christianity, it's wokeism.
But it also has Savior. And I would hope that someday this church would see the possibility of changing that word, because it is a stumbling block for so many who want to be here. It is a stumbling block for people who do interfaith work. How do we explain that phrase to Muslims and to Jews and to Hindus? I think the word guide just as effectively describes the meaning, that Jesus is the one who guides us back into a healing relationship with God.
You know, trust me, anytime you go to church and you see this madness, you need to run. Run away when you go to church and you hear this craziness in church. This is not the place for you to hear God's words. And if your pastor is pushing this garbage, you need to get out of there real fast. But trust me, things only get worse from here. Next, if you thought Planned Parenthood was just about abortions, think again. Watch this.
Planned Parenthood was furious that they were being exposed for harvesting and trafficking of late-term aborted babies and their body parts for government-funded experiments. And so they ran to their powerful ally in the state of California at the time, the Attorney General of California, Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, at the behest of Planned Parenthood, launched a completely unprecedented, never before done criminal investigation and prosecution of myself and my undercover colleagues under California's video recording law. And so why was it worth it for them to do this for 9 years, though? Why did they try so hard for 9 years? It's because of the facts of what's documented on the undercover footage about Planned Parenthood's late-term abortion business. And those facts were too damaging for Planned Parenthood's reputation and for the future of their taxpayer funding and for the future of abortion policy in this country, that they demanded that they try to silence the message, erase the videos, and try and pretend like all of this never happened. But 9 years later, they weren't able to do that. The videos are still out. President Trump just issued a very strong executive order on Friday demanding that federal taxpayer dollars be completely separated and not go to any programs or any organizations that fund or promote elective abortion. And so finally, we're starting to see justice, that the federal government is going to divest from its sponsorship of the abortion industry.
This is way darker. Planned Parenthood isn't just killing babies, they're trafficking body parts and mutilating children. They're harvesting and selling late-term aborted baby parts for experiments. Can you believe this? They're sterilizing kids under 18 with gender-affirming surgeries. And guess what? Kamala Harris and Rob Bonta are using the legal system to cover up for them. And the worst part is, you're funding this insanity with your tax dollars. This is pure evil, and the Democrats protect it. This is exactly why the people have voted for Trump, because he is the only one who will put an end to this madness. But if you thought this was bad, wait until you hear what New York City teachers are doing. American teachers won't teach children to read, but they'll teach illegal immigrants how to break the law. Watch this.
Knew their rights and knew they didn't have to let ICE in. ICE went away, and so this can make all the difference in the world. So rights are, if ICE comes to the home, you do not have to open the door. In fact, you should not open the door. I asked the question during one of the trainings: if you open the door but leave the chain on, is that considered opening the door or leaving it shut? And I was told that could be interpreted as allowing ICE in, and so you should keep the door closed, remain silent, say, "I plead the fifth," and choose to remain silent. Now, we know many of our families, or some of our families, if they're home, they may not be able to say these words in English. And so there are something called red cards that that are also on our resource page that can be printed for free. They look like this. I apologize, even though they are called red cards, you can print them on any color. I didn't have red, so I printed it on orange paper, but they are called red cards. So on one side, it has in English the statement, I do not wish to speak to you. I do not agree to allow you into my house. And then on the other side, it has it in the home language. There are many languages that it can be printed in. And so someone at home could slip this under the door, and it would therefore be in both languages. Some schools in the city that are distributing the cards, they do feel comfortable distributing the cards, but we have heard from that some principals are not feeling comfortable with doing that because they are not officially on the resources list.
New York City teachers are actively coaching illegal immigrants on how to avoid ICE and stay in the country illegally. What? These people are paid by your tax dollar. They won't stand up for American citizens, but they'll bend over backwards for illegals who break the laws. Meanwhile, your children are getting suspended for misgendering someone. The left has made this clear. They will protect everyone else except Americans. And speaking of rare in America, let's check out today's Raw and Unfiltered segment.
I'm going to simply tell y'all, it's fuck y'all feelings. It's not just me. There's a lot of people like me that feel the same way, and that's why we rode with Trump. And we're going to ride with Trump. Because we tired of, right now it's tax time. We work our ass off all motherfucking year long to watch you that don't do shit go and get a big old check and motherfucker splurge and go kick it. Man, no, I bust my ass all year for y'all to motherfucker take my money. And then I don't get to do shit like that because they give shit to you. I'm tired of watching motherfucking the government give shit to motherfuckers that don't do shit. Give a motherfucker a hand up, not a handout. That's all I'm saying. Trump finna fuck them motherfuckers, and if you don't want to do shit, you can get with the program or get the fuck out. That's simple. It's that simple. Grow the fuck up. I said what I said.
I keep waiting and waiting and waiting for Democrats to start fucking redeeming themselves, and every single time I turn around, they make it fucking worse. Just 100%, no turnabout rate, nothing. It is just going downhill for the Democrats, dude. Can you please tell me, if someone, right, robbed a fucking bank, okay, let's talk about a hypothetical before we get into the real shit real quick. If someone robbed a bank, someone watched the security footage, saw who robbed the bank, told you who robbed the bank, you caught who robbed the bank, are you gonna be mad at the person that robbed the fucking bank or the person that told you you were being robbed? Okay, that's what's going on with Elon Musk right now. For those of you that don't understand, okay, Elon Musk was hired for the Department of Government Efficiency. What does the Department of Government Efficiency do? What is its main number one goal? To make sure that our government is running efficiently, dumbasses. And here you are, literally trying to shoot the fucking messenger because he is showing you that a lot of our money is being wasted on shit that is not needed. What type of fucking transgender opera do you need overseas? What type of all of these DEI inclusivity programs do you fucking need to be spending our money on overseas? And instead of being mad at the people that are stealing our fucking money and spending it 100% irresponsibly, you're mad at the man who told you you were being ripped the fuck off. You are a fucking cult member. Plain and simple. There is no saving for you, okay? Every single time you guys continue to peddle these lies, you are screaming more and more that you're a cult member. And the more and more you do it, the more and more the moderate Democrats are going to fucking leave you. Keep going. Keep fucking going. Show your utter stupidity. It's what you've been doing for 4 years. Keep it up. The rest of us are happy that we found out what we already knew, that we were being robbed. It must be shocking for you to deal with facts, but they're gonna keep coming out. Our government has wasted billions upon billions upon billions of fucking dollars for shit that is not important to American citizens. And you're mad at Elon Musk and not at your fucking representatives? What are you, fucking retarded? You have to be.
2 hours, that's all it took. Pam Bondi was just sworn in not even 2 hours ago, and she has already instructed all of her attorneys to stop federal funding to sanctuary cities. And even more so, the best part is that she has instructed all of her attorneys that any government official that stops ICE from doing their jobs, whether it's a sanctuary city or not, should be prosecuted. This is huge. This is exactly what we voted for. This is exactly why we wanted her in office, because people need to be able to do their jobs. ICE is the only law enforcement agency that gets as much pushback as they do, especially in sanctuary cities. Now, what are they going to do? What are they going to do with no funding, no money, no help, and now the fear that they are going to be prosecuted, which they should rightfully be stopped. You see what's happening, especially in these sanctuary cities. They are destroying cars, police cars, they are destroying buildings, they're lighting things on fire, including the American flag, which is absolutely uncalled for and 100% unacceptable. This is the day we waited for. This is the day that needed to come to protect our country, get our country back on track before we worry about anybody else's. I'm excited. If this is what she's done in her first 2 hours, imagine what she's going to do over the next 4 years.
And there you have it. First, a woke pastor trying to erase Jesus, then Planned Parenthood's latest horror with the Democrats covering for them, and finally, New York City teachers actively breaking the law to protect illegal immigrants. Which one of these stories disgusts you the most? Let me know in the comments below. Hit the like button and subscribe and share if you're done with the left's insanity. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care and bye for now.